Okay, so everything that I'm about to tell you guys is all allegedly and purely for entertainment purposes only. I am not trying to incriminate myself for any of my alleged actions in the past, and none of the previous police reports involving myself reflect anything that I'm about to tell you guys. So this is all made up. Are you guys with me? With that being said, let's get into it. In life, as humans, we make thousands of decisions per day. And when we become adults, I genuinely believe that those decisions place us more or less exactly where we deserve to be. Well, over the past couple years, I've consistently made bad decisions when it comes to how I chose to ride my motorcycles. Now, every day I chose not to ride a motorcycle, I was a responsible business owner and entrepreneur. But on the days I did choose to ride, I had no regard for the safety of myself or other people on the road. I thought it was fun to run from the cops countless of times and fly down the freeway and all over the city at over 180 miles an hour, allegedly, knowing I could possibly get hurt or even worse, hurt someone else. But of course I always thought, it's not gonna happen to me. Well, something did happen to me when in the beginning of 2023, I snapped my left arm in half while illegally cutting through traffic. But oh, that day was just a fluke, right? And it wasn't life threatening, so ever since then, I still chose to consistently ride like an idiot. But after that first accident, and now that I felt the dangers of riding, I was always super aware of my surroundings and I was always locked in when I chose to ride like an idiot. And in my mind, now that I've gotten experience from past wrecks, surely I will never wreck again and I can push my luck for as long as I want because I already got my wreck out of the way. Well, I was completely wrong. And on this day, another bill came due for the bad decisions that I chose to consistently make. And honestly, I'm just grateful that I'm here to tell you guys the story. Now, did I even have to place this part in the video? I mean, probably not. I mean, this is a poker channel after all. And I was fortunate enough to hide my injuries like nothing happened, so I really didn't have to address it at all. But I felt like this was needed for my true supporters as somewhat of an explanation of where I've been, and this can also be a learning lesson from someone. Who knows? This is also a form of max accountability for my actions. I'm also aware that as a content creator who exposes myself to the internet, it's my duty to be honest and vulnerable with my audience. I also understand that the internet can be a place where everyone who watches and is not on this side of the camera are all perfect human beings who's never made one mistake in their entire life. I understand that that comes with putting myself on the internet. So please tell me about how perfect you are or how dumb I am in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's get into the story of the wreck, and then it's a lot of poker after that. So on this day, it was the usual. We had just left a bike meet and we was leaving that bike meet to head to another. Now on the way to the second spot, we got lit up by the cops. Now we never used to stop for the cops, so we did the usual. We took off and we lost them. By this point, we were in the clear and we no longer needed to speed. But speeding was just what we did. So even after we lost them, we continued to ride at over 150 miles an hour for no reason at all. Eventually, we come up on a tollway and now traffic is getting a little tighter. I then slow down to about 100 miles an hour, and as I was getting in front of a car, I changed lanes right into some white dividers. Now I'm used to these white dividers normally only being on the far left side of the freeway. And for this brief moment, I forgot, and as soon as I got in front of that car, I changed lanes right into those dividers. It was also late at night and I had a dark visor on. But as soon as I saw those dividers right in front of me, I only had 2 seconds to reminisce on my entire life. This was the first time in my entire life where I knew my life was over. I just knew I fucked up bad this time. I was just going way too fast this time when I wrecked. When I broke my arm in 2023, I was only going 35 miles an hour when I flew off my bike while illegally weaving through damn near standstill traffic. And now, this time, I'm going nearly 100 when I wreck, allegedly. I just knew it was over. So I then ran through between 7 and 15 dividers when I lost control and flew off the bike. My bike flipped 5 or 6 times and my body flipped 4 or 5 times. Now of course, I don't remember any of this. I hit my head first and got a concussion. So I'm going strictly off what the people who were with me said because they were the ones who actively had to avoid my body as I was tumbling down the freeway. Well guys, somehow I woke up. And even crazier than that, when the adrenaline wore off and they cut my clothes off, when I was conscious and able to assess my damages, I realized that even though I was in extreme pain, I was gonna have another chance to be normal again. My motorcycle was completely totaled, but somehow I wasn't. I couldn't believe it. Now the next month of rehab was the toughest time of my life by far. For the first week or so of rehab, I wasn't able to bathe myself or even wipe my own ass. Shout out to my unbelievable mother. But during rehab, I went through the toughest times of my entire life, screaming at the top of my lungs in pain while crying like a newborn baby for hours and hours straight. All of which was well deserved, by the way. I'm a big believer that if you play stupid games, you deserve to win stupid prizes. And the rules don't even change for myself when I do something stupid. If I would have woke up in the hospital with both of my legs missing, then it would have been well deserved in my opinion. I mean, even if I would have died, I have to take full accountability for my own actions and my own decisions. But now that I'm fortunate enough to be on the other side of rehab, I realize that it's up to me and only me to make the most of my second chance. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing so much better. Like I said earlier, my bike is totaled, but I'm not, and for that, I truly am grateful. I also miss you guys so much. Damn, we got a lot of videos to get into. But let's get straight into this Champions live stream vlog, when I play poker on stream with some of the best players in Houston. Let's get to it.
Help me! Help me!
Have you ever wondered how good you actually are at poker? Are you a non-pro who plays poker for fun like myself, but also wonders sometimes, how would I stack up against some of the top pros in the city for thousands of dollars? Well, just save your money and watch today's vlog. Because lucky for you guys, I'm the one that signed up to embarrass myself on the internet. Hello, for those of you guys that may be new to my channel, my name is Valdez and I'm a 29-year-old recreational poker player who's never studied poker a day in my life. But somehow, I've still managed to absolutely obliterate all of the guppies that I've faced over the years in Texas for years now. But today, I've been invited to the 510 Champions live stream. And I'm here to battle with some of the top poker nerds in the city of Houston. And from the looks of this lineup, I'm already drawing dead. I mean, I haven't played with any of these players before, but these two players have their hair slicked to the side, so you know I'm drawing dead. Look, anytime you see hair slicked to the side at the poker table, just run the other way because you know they have built-in computers in their head. Now I've looked at the lineup and I don't know a single soul at this table, except for Wes, one of the OG poker vloggers in Houston. But apparently, these pros are all aware of my vlog, and one of these players even went out of his way to make sure that he played on this live stream. Because he was the butt of most of my jokes the last time I played at Champions, and he's here for revenge. Now he normally doesn't even play stakes this high, just like myself. I don't normally play stakes this high either. But yeah, he heard that I was coming and he's here for revenge for the jokes that I made. Now let's get one thing straight. All of these players at this table are better than me at poker, except for one player. Now I won't tell you guys who that one player is. I'll let you guys put your guesses in the comment section after the video. But let's see if I sink or swim during this live stream now that I'm the guppy at the table. Couple quick thoughts. This is my second live stream ever, my first full live stream. I'm almost positive that this game will play bigger than any game that I've ever played in on stream. Well, that's not saying much because I've only played 2 games on stream. But this game will play big. So it's a 1K, 2K buy-in. So you can buy in between 1 and 2K. It's a 5-5 no limit hold'em, and I got a feeling that this game is gonna play very deep. Like, as far as nerves, you guys know, since we're going to Champions, I'm gonna tell you what I'm the champion of. I'm the champion of honesty. I feel like, I'm a man of the people, I'm a fish just like you guys. I'm real big on honesty, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, I'm just a fan of poker vlogging. I just so happen to pick up a camera. So anytime I vlog, I try to figure out, what do I want as a viewer? And me as a viewer, one of the main things I want is honesty. So back to that. As far as nerves is all, yes, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my hands. My hands are a little tingly. People be like, why are you nervous? Like, why would you be nervous? It's like, if you're not nervous going into a situation like this, then you're naive. Because in my life, I've always been big on preparation. And if I feel like other people are more prepared for something than me, then I should be nervous, right? But I'm playing to win. Like, I'm going with my reads 100%. You guys already know the #1 rule. We're not playing with the rent money. So any money that I'm bringing, I'm not emotionally tied to it at all. So I'm just gonna make the best reads to my best ability. Y'all wish me luck. I feel my heart beating out my chest. I talked to Big Red on the phone. Big Red always gassing me up and giving me confidence in my game. Big Red just said, bro, you're gonna run over the whole table. And I love the confidence. That's what friends are for. We're supposed to build each other up. But I think the type of confidence Big Red gives me is delusional confidence. Like, I don't want that delusional confidence. I want to have that cautious confidence, you know? But Big Red basically told me, bro, you're gonna run over the whole table. You're better than all of them. Like da 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 da. Like, and I love him for that. But we have opposite mindsets. We have opposite mindsets right now. I feel like I'm a little unprepared, but I feel like my instinct and my gut and the skill that I've earned over the years will make up for it. So we'll see. Come on, one time for the good guys. Let's cut to the live stream, guys. Let's get to these actions.
And then finally, we have Valdez on stream here. He came in, played in the room not too long ago, and finally have him here on stream at Champions Poker Live. So welcome to popular YouTube vlogger Valdez.
And the dots and signals. So you want to buy organic because they're naturally ripened.
Folds around to Valdez's cutoff.
Not much.
Suited ace wheel. Opens to 40.
About 10 minutes into the stream, and we look down at the first playable hand of the night being ace-5 of hearts in the cutoff. The action folds to me, and I raise it up to $40. Silver makes the call out of the small blind, and then West decides to 3-bet to $200. Now, when West makes this raise, I think the best option is just to call the $200. Up to this point in the night, West was the only player that I was familiar with previous to this live stream. So by just calling here in position with a suited ace, I would give Silver in the small blind the odds to make the call as well. And I would go 3 ways to the flop in position with what will be the best hand more times than not. Silver does make the call, and we go 3 ways to a 3-king-3 flop with 2 diamonds. Silver checks it over to West, the pre-flop regressor, and he c-bets for $200 with a dry ace of diamonds. The action is now on me, and I've completely whiffed this flop. And by me not even flopping a heart for backdoor possibilities on future streets, I decided to just fold and let this one go, with Silver still left to act behind me.
You asked why everybody was so quiet.
This guy's talking about banana color.
Different for Valdez here if
But supposedly
those were hearts, obviously, but
game.
Valdez and Silver getting out of the way.
And as you guys can see, technically I made the correct fold with West having a slightly better hand than mine. Even though there's a pretty decent chance that we would have chopped, it would have been hard for me to withstand much more aggression on future streets with only ace high. Next hand.
And he goes, no. He gave me back the money. He goes,
Mr. BP High asking if these guys are playing kind of tight. Did you see the King Jack High jam on the flop a couple hands ago?
About 10 more minutes go by and we look down at 10-9 off in the big blind. And with only 2 limps of the $10 big blind, I think this is the perfect time to get rid of my knit button. Yes, guys, we're playing the knit game tonight. And if you're the last player at the table to win a hand, you have to pay a knit tax of $200. Now, up to this point in my life, I've never lost a knit game in my entire life, and I'm not about to start now. So with only 2 limpers and very little interest being shown in this pot, I decide to raise it up to $50 with my 10-9 offsuit, hoping to just easily get rid of my knit button. However, Silver makes the call and the flop comes 6 ace deuce with 2 diamonds. Now I decide to c-bet on this board for $50, and I already don't like this play. Only because if I had an ace, I would probably bet more to charge hands like flush draws. But instead, I same bet the flop for $50, trying to get a cheap fold from what turns out to be a sticky, aggressive player. Not a good idea.
Quite a bit. Some of them play multiple times a week together.
you do see it.
So there's a lot of history there.
He basically showed me what he did. I hadn't even noticed something I never even thought of because I just don't think like that.
Valdez potentially at a slight disadvantage,
Fair enough, yeah.
not having played as many hands with some of these other players.
Do anything.
Stack the money.
They've just had an opportunity to build up strong player profiles against each other over time, and he's had a little less volume and hands with these other players specifically. He leads turn and gets raised.
Now, I could have gave up when the turn brought the king of diamonds, but would that have gotten rid of my knit button? Of course not, so I continue for $110, and then Silver raised me to $300. Damn, Silver must really know a guppy when he sees one, because he really just raised me to $300 with a 6 and no diamond. This would turn out to be an issue all night. An aggressive player basically to my direct left, raising me all night. I decide to let go of my 10 high flush draw, and Silver takes this one down. But stay tuned, because there's going to be battles between me and Silver all night.
Look at the numbers. It's early.
So 30 minutes into the live stream, and these are the results so far. I'm down over $400 and I haven't won a single hand yet. But it's still early, so let's get to this next hand between me and Guppy, because the loser of this next hand is going to be the loser of the first round of the Nick game. Will I lose the first Nick game of my entire life? In this next hand, we have a $20 straddle and a blind raise to $60 from Wes. Now Guppy and myself are the only two players left at the table who haven't won a single hand all night. So if Guppy wins this hand, then I have to pay the $200 net tax. And same goes for if I win the hand, then Guppy has to pay the $200 net tax. So the action folds to me, and I look down at Jack 10 of clubs in the small blind. And compared to the cards that I've been getting for the first 45 minutes of the stream, this hand looks like aces to me. So with Jack 10 of clubs here in the small blind, I decide to raise it up to $215. The action then folds to Guppy, and turns out he only has Jack 6 of spades. So surely he's gonna fold his hand so I can get rid of my knit button.
I have tonality issues.
Between the Valdez
Many years.
and Gupsters.
But he may or may not follow you to the restroom.
Who wants to win the Nick game? Guppy does. Jams it.
Nope, he rips his whole entire stack in the middle for over $2,500? Wes gets out of the way, and now the action is on me. Now obviously, I was unaware that my opponent had Jack 6, so I immediately folded my Jack high and paid the $200 knit tax.
Elects to just get out of the way and
He folded and bet 200 extras for the knit. Yeah.
pay the knit tax. There you see the price of the knit game going to be $200.
But the more I think about this hand, the more disappointed I am that I folded. The all-in was only $1,300 more to me, because that's all I had left. And I already had $215 in the middle. And on top of that, the moment I fold, I have to pay another $200 for the knit tax. So that's really like I have $415 invested and only $1,300 more to call. And that's not even including Guppy's money in the middle, along with the blind $60 from Wes. And Jack 10 suited is going to have decent equity against a lot of the hands that I expect Guppy to have here, like bad aces, hands like King Queen, smaller suited connectors, and even small pocket pairs. I should have for sure thought this hand through a little more before I folded. But maybe the nerves are starting to get to me. Yo, they kicked me off the other two wheels, but I still got these two wheels to let you guys know that it's official. Not only are we still crushing it online on Poker Bros, but now I also play poker online on Club GG as well. And as you guys can tell by my avatar, I have a dream like Martin Luther King to stack all of my subscribers on online poker. Why? Because you guys are bad at poker. If you guys scan this QR code, then it'll take you guys directly to my Discord, where all of the sign-up information is posted. You can also chat on there with me and the rest of our community about poker, life, and anything else you want to talk about. If you guys are having any trouble with the QR codes, then the link to my Discord will be in my description as well. And for the final way you guys can get set up, you can just DM me the word fish on Instagram, and I'll get right back to you on simple steps to get loaded up. Make sure you guys join soon, because I already have my online live streams already on the schedule. Yes, that's right. I'm gonna start stacking you guys live on YouTube very soon. With all that being said, let me get off this bike and let's get back to the video.
And so now we're going to look at the numbers again. Wes and Silver leading the way, but multiple players 40% or higher in VPIP. And what matters most, who's up and who's down. Guppy down 2,000. A couple other players down a couple hundred. Tish and Valdez close to 1,000 in the hole.
Looking at the cumulative winnings after the first hour of play, I'm stuck over $800 and I haven't won a single hand yet. Yay! Fast forwarding to the next playable hand, and I have Jack 9 of hearts under the gun +1, and I raise it up to $30. Look guys, in between the hands that I have featured on this vlog, all I'm doing is folding. So if you guys want to go watch me fold a bunch of 9-deuce offsuits, then I'll leave a link in my description for the full stream. But back to this hand. I raise it up to $30. 3 players make the call, and we go 4 ways to a 4-deuce-deuce flop with 2 spades. The action checks to me, and with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw, I c-bet for $55. Now guys, keep in mind that the Nick game is still on. We're currently on round 2 of the Nick game. And as you guys can see by the yellow dots that are still by our names, myself and Guppy are already heads up yet again to see who's gonna lose the Nick game. So there's a little more incentive for me to win this hand. I need to get rid of this nit button. So I bet $55 to thin out this field of 4. This is gonna be a flop that misses a lot of players. I mean, who's really gonna have a deuce in their range on a raised pot pre-flop? So only silver makes the call, so we're heads up to the ace of diamonds on the turn. Now this is going to be a great card for me as the pre-flop aggressor, so I definitely don't plan on slowing down on this turn card. By this point of the night, I understand that silver can be in there with a 4 and pocket pairs like 3s through 6s. And this ace is going to smash my pre-flop raising range, so I bet $175, just hoping to get him to fold so I can win my very first hand of the night and finally get rid of this nit button.
Raise, nothing. 9 raises with 500.
Slightly under 3x. Good sizing. Gonna try to attack something on the river.
With a little heater out there and a coat.
If he were to call, yeah, Valdez obviously doesn't have anything. He's just gonna posh. If we were to call, SPR is gonna be about 1.1 to 1. Probably setting up a river jam.
Shivering a little bit. With gloves on, reaching down, trying to keeping the beer by the heater.
This is liminal, dude. It's all a liminal dream.
Export crops from Brazil that are non-GMO. Fold 7
Shows the deuce.
Another full house?
So silver raises me to $500, so I posture a bit with jack high and then fold. Silver then shows the deuce of clubs. Of course he has a deuce. Can I just win one hand, please? I mean, damn, we've been playing for over an hour and a half, and I haven't won one hand. Here's a look at what the live chat looked like by this point of the night. Shout out to the soldiers who hopped in the chat to show their support for me. Even though I hadn't won a hand yet by this point of the night, you guys were still active and showing support, so thank you. These supporters knew I was live because I announced it on my Instagram story, like I do every time I play a live stream. But let's get to the next hand to see if I ever actually give them something to cheer for.
At one point, everybody was straddling for 80, you know, like.
Right.
So I fold for another painful 15 minutes straight. But hey, it looks like my night might finally be turning around when I look down at my first premium hand of the night. Pocket kings in middle position, and I raise it up to $35.
Big Red, I do agree, at least before looking at kings dealt to Valdez. And it's also all love, all jokes here from the commentary booth, making light of the situation.
Only when it gets down to 2 people.
Valdez really hasn't been dealt in too many times, or when he has tried to make a move, he's just running into it.
3 players make the call, so we're 4 ways to the flop, and it comes 10, queen, 7, all spades. The action checks to me, and I decide to overbet the pot for $200. Just trying to deny equity from any hands containing a spade, and just desperately trying to win my very first hand of the night. Only silver makes the call, and the turn brings the 3 of clubs. And on this blank turn card, I decide to check here out of position. I wanted to disguise the strength of my hand against this aggressive player, as well as not bloat this pot unnecessarily with only 1 pair. So I thought the best play in this spot was to check call and just pray for a clean river.
Yeah, instead of it being
Out of position.
we're starting at 2 people.
Does he want to go check call? Does elect to check. Now, silver trying to protect
When you give everybody else
what he thinks is the best hand.
an opportunity to sneak their way out, you know, which would be fun. So,
Good shot of Valdez looking over at silver there, trying to get a read.
Surprising. Nick game is lasting pretty long. But these other times, it lasts long.
Does just go check call.
MVP Kenny.
Yeah, it kind of gives them better
The best defense ever.
Now the whole table has
What a sick river.
not a favorite.
I think it's
Valdez likely to still check call. Presence of another queen
Do a multi.
makes it less likely that silver did have a queen. But silver now with trips And a pretty decent kicker as well. Quickly reaches for chips.
When you.
That's tough. Yeah, you're right.
The
Okay.
problem is when you make it subjective like that.
You have to
800 feeling like
just
value.
win at showdown 1.
But honestly, with Nick game on and as card dead as Valdez has been, I think he just flicks this in. He doesn't have a good feeling about it, but I think he's just going to pay.
Ace high doesn't count?
And you can't win.
This is most of Valdez's current stack.
I like it.
I was always saying, like, if you, whatever straight you win, if you win
Because he says
straight,
he's
then
Does pay it off and sees the bad news.
Assuming you
Kings cracked for Valdez.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty tight.
So the river brought the Queen of Hearts. And when I asked for a clean river, this is not what I was asking for. I wanted no spade and no queen. I check called the turn confident that I had the best hand, and now I'm facing an $800 bet after this queen has hit the river. Now in the moment, I was searching in my head for any bluffs that Silver could have and any hands that's worse than mine that he would be betting for value here on this river. And the answer to both of those questions is none and none. His bet sizing of $800 also felt like a milky sizing, just begging for a call. To be honest, guys, I was searching for the discipline to fold, and everything in me was telling me that I was beat, but the fact that I hadn't won a single hand the whole stream, along with the fact that Pocket Kings is going to be 80% to win pre-flop against most of the hands that he's going to have, I just decided to say fuck it and make the call. Noah also accidentally flipped over the King of Spades when he mucked his cards pre-flop. So I also just used that as less combinations of flushes that Silver could have. Hell, any reason I could come up with to make the call. I just didn't want to fold, honestly. This was my first premium. But let's head outside and see how I was feeling in real time because I left the table after this hand. I had to go outside and get some things off my chest. Guys, I needed some fresh air. This is right after that. That Kings versus Queen Jack hand. This is by far the worst I've ever. I want to say this is by far the worst I've ever run in my life. I think so. You guys have been seeing, if you watch the full stream, you've been seeing the cards that I've been getting. With Kings, with the Queen High Flush, I can't even talk right now. I'm running so bad, bro. I get the first playable hand literally in orbits. I haven't won one hand yet. I haven't won one hand yet. I'm losing 2 stand-up games in a row. I'm finna lose my shit, bro. Like, I started to shove on the turn with... But is he ever folding a queen on the turn? When there's 3 spades out there, is he ever folding that turn? I started to shove the turn. But then he's like, what hand, better hand is calling me? I don't know, bro. Fuck this. I don't know, bro. Fuck it, bro. Fuck it. I'm going back, bro, but fuck it.
Be finding a check raise turn if it's not a hand that's obviously ahead. Look at the PFRs here. Plenty of players raising when entering pots. Not a lot of passive play, not a lot of limping.
So I'm back inside for my little rant, and these are the stats of the night so far. I'm currently stuck over $2,600, and I haven't won a single hand yet. I'm currently in the game for $5,000 total. I forgot to tell you guys earlier, but I initially bought into the game for $2,000, and now I'm currently in the game for $5,000 total.
A long 2 Nick games, especially for those players specifically. We're only on our second Nick game.
And the second round of the Nick game comes down to this hand. It's me and Guppy heads up yet again to see who's going to have to pay the $200 Nit tax. And I've already folded my hand, so now I just have to hope that Wes wins this hand so that Guppy doesn't get rid of his Nit button, making me have to pay the Nit tax yet again.
All of it, really? Is he all in, or is he just that?
Oh, I have this much.
Did you say he didn't say
He did not say all.
Okay, well, we can look as a team and decide what we're doing. It looks like a fold. Okay, hold on. I'll call if there's an ace or a 5 down here.
Okay.
Yes.
Nick game over. 9-6. Gets it done. It was suited Jack 6 last time for Guppy. That he jammed last time, effectively jammed this time. And now Valdez responsible for the nit tax again.
We're gonna do the splash bar first, and then.
So Guppy risked $2,000 with 9 high to save $200, and he successfully avoided paying the nit tax. And now I have to pay it again. That's $400 that I've lost in the nit tax alone. $400 down the drain. Hell, for $400, I could have bought a bunch of candles. I love candles. Or I even could have bought an online course from the poker nerds on how to jam all in for $2,000 with 9-6 off and win.
He's the king of There's nobody that gets more. There's nobody that gets more.
Off to the very next hand, and there's a $20 straddle under the gun. 2 players call the $20, and oh man, I look down at what looks like a premium to me. Ace 10 off is definitely one of the top 3 hands that I've seen all night. So with there being 2 calls of the $20 straddle, along with my $200 in the middle from the nit tax from last hand, I decide to raise it up to $200 to try to win my nit tax money back. Maybe this will be the first hand that I win of the night.
Is Guppy gonna step in it right now? He's stuck. He's been having a tough stream. It's been him and Valdez that have been heads up in the nit game for the majority of the night so far. This looks like a good squeeze spot. And after all that deliberation,
6 on the muck.
he does fold. So it's Valdez that finds the raise to 200. Doing Tish Money a favor here.
The action falls to Tish Money, and he decides to 3-bet me to $625. He's another super nerd pro, and he hasn't been too aggressive tonight. So alarm bells are definitely going off in my head, but I have to see a flop, right? I mean, I do block aces, so at least he can't have aces. Let's see a flop heads up.
Thank you.
Does just call in position. Almost seemed like he was trying to find a 4-bet there.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Here, I'm 3,000 behind.
The good news for all the Valdez fans watching is that we saw that the aces were out, and it's not a 10 high flop. This could save Valdez.
See if that were the flop last time. I would have won a big pot.
Is Valdez a believer? Even if Tish is doing this with ace king, ace queen, Valdez is way behind.
No. He's calling up for.
Valdez out of the way.
Huge fold to.
Tank and fold, tank and fold, lose and lose, lose and lose. That's literally all I've been doing all night. Still haven't won a single hand yet, by the way. And look at me digging in my backpack for more money. That's literally all I've been doing all night. I brought $15,000 with me tonight, and the way this night is going, I might need all of it. I mean, I've dug in my backpack more times than hands I've won. Get it? Because I haven't won a hand yet, and I've dug in my backpack 3 times to top up. So I've just added on $3,000 to my stack. Now let's get to the next interesting hand of the live stream.
The stupid Nick game.
It's
over
finished,
for now.
so you'll probably win a pot here.
The rest of the stream.
Oh, no. Hey, can I just look at those buttons real fast?
Fast forwarding 30 minutes later, and I still haven't won a hand. And now I'm heads up with Patrick to see who's gonna have to pay the $200 nit tax. Is HV gonna play good defense and prevent me from having to light another $200 on fire?
75% pot, yeah. And Patrick here, as played, probably going to come in for a raise, 450, 500. Pretty standard as played on the river. Yeah, bet raise, snap fold. Patrick getting rid of the knit button. Valdez again losing the knit game. Having a bit of a tough Champions live stream debut. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, go ahead and check that out. See if I can put that link in there for you in the chat.
I was heads up for it there.
So props to HV for trying to bluff at it and take it down. But unfortunately, he was raised and forced to fold because Patrick had trips. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my third knit tax loss in a row. We've been playing poker for over 2.5 hours and I haven't won a single hand yet. Not even a raise and take it down pre-flop hand. Nothing, not one. That's $600 in knit tax losses alone. I'm not even gonna tell you guys what I could have bought with $600. Let me put this in perspective so we can get to the next hand. In order for me to lose 3 knit games in a row, every single person at the table has to win a hand before me. 3 consecutive times before I win one hand. This might actually be the worst day of my poker life. Let's see the cumulative winnings so we can see exactly how stuck I really am.
Yeah, and through 66 hands, top VPIP, Silver, West, HV, Guppy, Patrick, all above 40%. Noah and Valdez at the bottom, 22 and 18% respectively. Here are cumulative winnings. Tish Money up 2,900, Noah 2,300, Silver 2K, HV, no stranger to winning as well, 1,100. Some Guppy, Wes, and Valdez though throwing the party tonight. Guppy about $2,500, and both Wes and Valdez.
So guys, honestly, this hand wasn't even supposed to make the vlog, but I stumbled across this hand as I was searching for the first hand that I actually did win, and I realized something. The story of tonight could not fully be told if I left this hand out. So this is the hand right after the cumulative winnings, and I look down at A7 off and raise it up to $50. Now I know some of you guys are thinking, well, why would you raise A7 off? That's so bad. Well, for one reason, any ace that I got on this night felt like the nuts. And for two, when it folded to Guppy, he 3-bet me to $205 with King 5 off. See, this is the difference between games that I crush and a game with players like this. The bad players that I normally play are either going to do one of two things with King 5 offsuit pre-flop. They're either going to limp or fold. That's it. However, good players like these are mostly always going to fold King 5 offsuit pre-flop. They're never going to flat, and if they sense weakness or if they picked up that you haven't been responding well to 3-bets pre-flop, they will correctly 3-bet you with the worst hand. They will exploit you. They will pick up on your tendencies over time and they will pick you apart. I mean, Guppy totally undressed me this hand. Well, pause. You guys know what I meant. He outplayed me. But seriously, guys, that's the difference. And when he flipped over his hand so he can get rid of his knit button, my soul left my body when I saw that King 5 off. I mean, I couldn't breathe. This is the part when I started to question everything. Like, why did Eddie invite me to this stupid live stream? Why did I even agree to come on this stupid live stream? Why are these players so damn good? Why are these dealers so damn bad? Why are you enjoying my misery and you're not even subscribed to my channel? Why did I even start this stupid poker vlog in the first place? Why?
You two ready to put in like 200?
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the
Like, what,
tongue
six?
quite like you'd like it to,
Yeah.
but-
Attention. I have a huge update. After the worst 2 hours and 40 minutes of my poker life, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I finally won a hand. Now I know, it was very anticlimactic because all I did was raise ace-3 of diamonds and everyone folded. But hey, it was a win nonetheless. Look at how surprised and proud of myself I was. The announcers didn't even acknowledge it because I'm sure even they weren't aware that I hadn't won one single hand in nearly 3 hours of play. Well, now that I finally got my very first win of the night out of the way, Let's get to the next hand, where I face off heads up with Noah, the original OG fanny pack bro, who came on this live stream strictly to get revenge on me for making jokes on previous vlogs. Let's see how I hold up. 30 minutes later, and I look down at King Queen off under the gun +2, and I raise it up to $60. The action then folds to Noah, one of the OG fanny pack bros, and he 3-bets me to $420.
And I believe Valdez was trying to open to 60 on the double straddle. So yeah, yes.
14.
Yeah, and Noah here. I will say this: any of the hands that Noah specifically gets into, gets relatively aggressive as a raiser to 3-better.
Now this is a fairly large sizing, and I've noticed over the course of the night that when Noah did raise, he raised big to apply max pressure pre-flop. He had a very tight, aggressive image on this night. Well, now the action is back on me, and honestly, I've been pushed around all night by garbage hands and pure aggression. But I'm not gonna let Noah do it to me as well. I mean, I have to draw the line at some point and have some sort of pride. I can't be letting the king of the fanny pack bros bully me as well, so I make the call for $420. Now let's see a flop heads up in position.
$150.
4 bets, 150.
The flop comes 10, 9, ace, rainbow. And as you guys can see, my eyes haven't left the OG fanny pack bro for 1 second. And guys, I think I have a read. This guy is nervous as shit. I mean, look at how he put the C-bet out for $150 and then sniffed nervously. His body language was telling me that he was super weak and he wasn't strong at all. Either my read was correct or he was just Hollywooding to seem weak, but I think I had a pretty good pulse on this guy. Either way, I'm going with my read. So when Noah C-bet for $150, even though I only had king high, I decided to make the call with plans of taking away this pot on future streets. And if by chance he slows down on the turn, I'm going with my move.
Three of diamonds, changing absolutely nothing here. Valdez might get an opportunity to steal this one, and he is reaching for chips.
It's gonna have to go pretty big though. Only ups to go third? Was it approximately? Yeah.
So the turn comes to 3 of diamonds, and Noah does in fact check fairly quickly. And now the action is on me, and it's time to play poker. I mean, at some point in the night, I have to take a stand against the fanny pack bros and represent for the recreational fish that are out there. So when Noah nervously, quickly checks it over to me, I decide to bet 1/3 of the pot for $400 with king high. I didn't feel like I had to go too big to fold out hands that missed. Being that I don't think Noah has too many aces that 3-bet pre-flop, bet small on the flop, and then check the turn on blank turn cards.
And as a original 3-better, yeah, nice hand there by Valdez.
Nice hand, nice hand.
Ooh. Show them who the fanny back bros is.
And it turns out $400 was enough to get the job done when Noah folded the same hand as me. I had to show my hand to get rid of my nit button. But wait, guys, now that I think about it, I don't think Noah has ever beat me in a poker hand in his entire life, even on previous vlogs. And I don't appreciate how he knew I was coming, so he decided to show up to the live stream in disguise with a new haircut to take all of my money. See, Noah is used to being a low-key, under-the-radar super pro that goes around Houston taking all of the recreational players' money. But what he forgot was that I'm a content creator. And Noah, when you decided to show up on this live stream to get back at me, you became a content creator too. You don't get to target me and get away with it. So attention, all fish and recreational players all over Houston, I need you to listen to me clearly. When you guys see this super pro sitting at the same table as you, I need you guys to put the drinks down and lock in. No tequila, no whiskey, no beer. You see Noah at your table, lock in. Lock in so you can beat him in every single hand, just like I do. And Eddie, call or text my phone so we can set up my next Champions live stream appearance. I need to give Noah more chances so he can finally beat me in at least one hand. One of the worst parts of my motorcycle wreck is that if I would have died, I would have never been able to get these jokes off. And Noah deserves these jokes. I mean, he's a good guy, great player. I mean, way better than me, but he still can't beat me in a poker hand. Guys, tell Noah in the comment section below about how he cannot beat Valdez in a poker hand. Now let's get to the next hand. In the very next hand, I look down at pocket sevens in early position and I raise it up to $30. For just this one hand, I'm gonna let the commentator take over so you guys who didn't watch the live stream can get a feel for at least how one hand was played in real time.
Up now.
Good read.
Sevens buried for Valdez. Nines for Juicy. Fours for Guppy. Guppy with the 3-bet to 150. Comes back around to the sevens of Valdez. He finds a call.
Yeah, Juicy's going to call as well. Let's see, he may come in for a 4-bet squeeze. I'd be surprised. Oh, okay, he's just going to make the call.
About to have a cat fight. Juicy's in there. Don't mind this flop, specifically with the sevens and the nines. Board pairs itself. Everybody feeling better about their hand after it checks through.
And I don't hate this bet here from Valdez. Both these plays could be folding some overcards, some suited Broadway cards. And just Juicy definitely not going to fold here with an overpair to the board.
8 calls, 200.
Bet and a call in front of you. Yeah, fours definitely shrivel up. Players can even have hit their side cards and have better than you at this point.
I think it's going to go check. And maybe Juicy's going to try to eke some value. Maybe like some sort of block merge. It's going to be a block bet since he's in position, but maybe you're going to try to target a hand exactly like Valdez has, like sevens, top pair. Yeah, it's going to go for some value here.
400.
I'm going back to watch this one.
Sounds like a fold if he says he's going to have to go back and watch this one. Implies he's not going to see what Juicy's whole cards are right here and now.
It's such a neutral size betting to basically half pot.
Yeah, it's not screaming thin value. It's not polar in any way. It's just right in the middle.
Yeah, it's one of those merge bet sizes. Yeah, he's going to get him to call, get worse hands to call, and get better hands to fold. Yeah, not.
God damn it! God damn it! God damn it!
Nice little value bet there. I would call that a merge bet. I literally think he was targeting an 8 or pocket 7 specifically with that bet.
20 minutes after we lost with sevens, I looked down at pocket threes and I called a $20 straddle in the hijack. Juicy then 3-bets me to $75. I make the call and we went heads up to a 7-deuce-10 flop with 2 clubs. I check it over to Juicy and he c-bet. Okay, look guys, I'm trying to be professional, but constantly calling another man Juicy while in my bedroom just makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
Is it soft? Is it juicy? No.
But let me try again. I check it over to Mr. Juicy and he c-bets for $75. Pocket threes is still going to be ahead of all of his overcards with no pair, so I make the call and the turn brings the 8 of diamonds. The turn goes check, check, and when the river brings the ace of diamonds.
Now this is a river card that Juicy can attack as a 3-better. He could have been floating like ace, queen, ace, king.
Depends upon the day, you know.
He's 250 at least. Yeah, overbet pot, I like it. Gets it through. Gets the best hand to fold, Juicy.
Mr. Juicy owned me when he repped the ace on the river and I folded to his $400 overbet. Shout out to Juicy. Next hand.
Juicy. No.
Hey man, you're the guy that asked me. Fuck me, dude. Listen,
Honey
he's like,
Crisp.
no.
15 minutes later, I limped a $10 straddle in the big blind with fours. Just trying to flop a set, but the board brings king for a jack with 2 hearts. Oh shit, wait, I actually did flop a set. The action checks to Patrick in the hijack and he bets $30. I decide to raise it up right away to $85. In this spot with a set, I wanted to raise right away to get more money in the pot. But I didn't want to raise to an amount that would scare off the players behind me. With this sizing of $85, I wanted to entice some light cold calls. And it turns out, that sizing worked out pretty well when Juicy and Silver both cold called my re-raise of $85. And Patrick made the call as well.
So, but it is a king high flop, and there is a set of fours for Valdez.
Nice little potential flop for Valdez. Not potential, nice setup for a potential big hand for Valdez, rather. Patrick can take a stab at this. Wouldn't be surprised if Valdez comes in for the raise here, especially in the multi-way pot.
There's this good kind of apple that I found at Kroger. It's called an opal apple, but it was at Kroger.
Small 3-bet here,
Like,
especially being out of position with players behind.
but it's like
Could have gone slightly bigger, maybe like 125, 150, especially with how aggressive this game is playing. A lot of these players are liking to see flops, a lot of multi-way flops.
got a bunch of those.
Try these apples, you're never eating them.
And Silver here, probably just gonna have to lay this down as, or just gonna call here. Patrick's probably folding now. Oh, he's probably getting a good price. He's got backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight cards.
Backdoor pair draw.
Yeah.
There's the backdoor pair draw for Patrick. Pairs is 7.
And based off action, Valdez is going to need to bet relatively large here to deny some equity against a potential draw. Straight draws, flush draws. 7 of clubs not really doing much with the turn card. So I'd like to see him size up 300 plus, maybe closer to pot.
Seven bets, 305.
I like the size. Very good size there. And Juicy can't like his hand, especially with the 8 kicker. Good full, especially with the action behind as is. Probably knowing that his top pair is not good with that relatively weak kicker.
So the turn brings the 7 of clubs, which is basically a brick, and I'm first to act. I decided to bet $305 to deny equity from potential flush draws and also obtain value from kings. And as you guys can see, Juicy just mucks top pair, which is definitely annoying, but it happens when you play smart, thinking players. But Silver has been thinking for about 20 seconds, and it looks like he wants to make a move. Let's see what he decides to do.
8 raises to 9 raises to 800.
Wow, and look at this raise from Silver.
3 folds.
Yeah.
Such an interesting hand to do this with. Valdez definitely not folding in this spot. 7 of clubs is a absolute brick. And when Silver calls turn, calls the small check raise from Valdez, not repping trying to figure out what he's repping here, right? It's not much.
Yeah, no straights are possible. It's really only the front door flush draw that has not come yet.
So Silver raised me to $800, and I finally have a hand when he decides to make a move on me. Silver has been bullying me all night, and to be fair, most of the time he's had it, besides maybe 1 or 2 times. Well, I have it now, so let me Hollywood a little bit, but not too much, and make the call. As far as hands that I was putting Silver on in the moment, to be honest, I really wasn't even thinking about it. I just knew I had the effect of nuts. So my plan was to make the call, hoping that he would blast off as the flush missed on the river. If the flush misses and he has a better hand than me on the river, then here, he can just have the rest of my $4,000 stack.
That would be so funny.
And as played, Silver definitely does not have. He could. I tell you what, the one combo of a hand that that Valdez could be potentially worried about is King Jack.
Yeah, that's a sick river. You're not feeling as great, actually, if you're Valdez.
You're right, Mr. Commentator. I wasn't feeling great when the King of Spades came on the river. I was feeling amazing. I mean, I wasn't worried about a damn thing. I knew I had the best hand. Call it naive, and maybe it's because this is the best hand I've made all night, but I wasn't worried one bit about Silver actually having a better hand than me, especially when the flush missed. I was just praying to the heavens above that Silver blast off on this river. Please bet big. Please bet big.
6 combos.
No, this guy Ham, who his chat name is like Trips or something.
Nice hand there by Valdez.
Like a donkey, literally the worst player. Like whenever he goes play 1-2, he loses.
And I don't think he's ever folding that river. I mean, if Silver has King Jack there or King, was it King 4? I don't remember what the other card was on the flop. It was a King 4.
What? So Silver decided to not blast off on the river and just checked it back? Yeah, I was disappointed, but hey, I still won this $2,000 pot. By far my biggest of the night. This hand brought my stack over the $5,000 mark. And now it's time for the last interesting hand of the night, and this was a fun one for sure.
Ham caught some strays. Ethan's catching strays. Valdez finally catching hands at the end of the night.
He is the
Ace King now.
cut. He's
19, but he loved to play.
he's a run-of-the-mill fanny pack boy.
He battled with us.
Yeah.
That's why.
How do you learn so fast? Shit.
Suited Ace 10 for Wes. He's in there. Silver has called on the button. Suited King. 3 players to the flop. And for 75 each
Close.
comes Queen High. 2 diamonds.
I don't think he held me. He is.
Oh, he's.
Nobody connects, and it checks through very quickly.
How old?
I said like 20.
21. Yeah.
2 bets.
Wes now double gutted. Any 9 or king, very good for him.
Oldest person at the table.
Leads out, gets called by Ace King. Different gut shot to Broadway.
Nah.
But the board pairs itself.
Oh, might be Uncle Wes then.
And then
I'm 36.
Juicy. I think you're younger than Juicy.
I think I'm older than him.
Wes reaching for chips still.
He's younger than Juicy.
No, was that 350? 450. Tough spot for Valdez here.
I was shocked. I didn't believe it.
Would love to see a hero call, especially with the way his night's been going.
And I think with the board pairing there,
He looks good for 54 though, huh? Doesn't look a day over 47, right?
30s, right?
36.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Uncle.
Turning 52.
But you don't look a day over 47.
that sizing there.
Just say a different number every time.
42?
By the call, Valdez.
Is 42 for real though? 42.
I think one of the thought process I'm thinking is like that's a really big sizing for that queen, right? Because if he really had a queen, really use that size, and would he really be playing a jack that way? Probably not, right? And so, from a thought process perspective, obviously you don't want to like call him look like quote unquote an idiot online. His hand specifically is actually a very good bluff candidate catcher.
Hey, go get the thing.
Because if Wes was really trying to extract value, probably go more neutral size, like 50-60% pot. Maybe close, maybe 2/3 pot, 75%. But not quite as big as he went with this sizing. So, and seriously, in the tank here, considering making this call, and I wouldn't blame him if he made the call. I wouldn't blame him if he made the fold, but it would be a nice little hero call.
Asking for the pot to be spread.
Yeah, and I think he's thinking exactly what.
What time is it, Juicy? 9:30? Juicy.
940.
9:40 already.
Kind of what I've explained. So
9:40 or
Yeah, I think more middling pocket pairs are going to lead that turn more than jacks,
You know kids these days can't read watches.
especially from out of position there. Be different if Wes was in position, checks around to him. He has some jack X that
can't read.
wants to bet. But Valdez reaching for chips now,
It's just not right now.
calling chips in hand,
The watch is wrong. It's not wrong.
still thinking things over.
No, I'm trying to save a little face.
I say it with a straight face.
What a
puts in the
call.
call.
Great call, Valdez. Phenomenal call.
Nice.
I think if that board doesn't pair river, I think he would actually fold there, right? If it's
Yeah.
like some brick like 6 of X or whatever it is.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the last interesting hand of the night. This was a tough-ass game with some great players. By far the toughest lineup that I've ever played against. And as you guys can see, I'm stressed out. My head literally hurts from actually having to think so much all night. I mean, I never have to actually think against the guppies that I normally play against, or make hero calls on the river with only ace high for thousands of dollars. But just adjusting to this style of play alone made my head hurt. If this hand would have happened earlier in the stream, then I would have folded. But this game and these players forced me to learn and adjust. Now granted, I still got my ass kicked, but I'm happy with how I adjusted as the game went on. Now this was the last interesting hand of the live stream that I was involved in. This hand was about 15 minutes before the stream ended. And I would show you guys the last cumulative winnings, but it was inaccurate. So let's just head to the cage, cash out, and see how we did outside.
'Cause he's fearless, fearless, and he's steady, 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 steady. His name's Valdez. He's the man in the game. He's fearless, fearless, and he's steady, 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 steady. With his aces, he'll raise you all the same.
5677.
Yeah, you did. I was like, what?
Yeah, I had this one over here. She's like, what did you say 51? Because I had this one here, but that's 9 and 1. And that makes
So it was
sense.
5677, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
2, 4, 5, 6.
And just like that, we're out.
Out of here, guys. Shout out to Valdez. Shout out to Valdez Vlogs.
Hey man, so look, I was in for $8,000. I was out for, damn it, $5,667. So that is a loss of this amount. I've been talking with these pros. They've been
No, we're not pros.
They've been lacing me up on, like, first of all, let me talk. Even though they're out here, I still have to talk about the night. I'm just gonna say I started off. You guys saw when I came outside. I was really down on myself. I wanted to quit vlogging. I wanted to quit poker and everything because everything sucked. And I was really down on myself. But then I thought about it. Right, I went back in there. I started playing better. But I thought about it, and I thought it came to me like that. This is a totally different game. Like, I've never played this game before. Like, they were 4 betting, 5 betting light. Like they, like.
We're a little crazy.
One thing that I learned is that recreational players are so under bluff. Like, they don't bluff enough. So I've never played a game where players bluff with all kind of hands, right? Like, you guys saw me call off West with ace high. I've never had to do that in a recreational game because, like, if I don't call him off with ace high, I'm way too exploitable in this game. So it was like an adjustment. So I was really hard on myself at first, but then I realized it's a totally different game. So should I be hard on myself if it's your first time playing a game? Like, I don't think so. So, but these are my pro friends, and they've been talking me through it and helping me out, and I feel a lot better talking to them. What y'all think? Y'all got anything to say?
I mean, it was great playing with you, man. It was like, obviously, like, going into a game like this with a bunch of like pros. It's like kind of tough.
I mean, you guys are pros though, like, right? Like, you don't have to be humble about it. I mean,
so it's really, really, really courageous. I know I couldn't do it, like, if I were
as bad as me, right?
No.
I agree.
I mean, it takes a lot of courage to play on a stream. Yeah. So, y'all should like and subscribe to Valdez for doing this.
For doing that, right.
It takes a lot of courage, seriously, to do that.
So this is what I was talking to them about, and this is what they're gonna help me with. I know it's not realistic for me to be like a pro grinder, grinding every day, because I gotta edit these videos for you guys. So I only play when I film, but when I get invited to big streams, I have to be able to hold my own. So that's when the studying and getting better, that's where it's going to have to come in for me, because when I get invited, because I've already gotten invited to bigger streams than this, and I can't play with you. I don't want to play with you. Think I want to play with you guys for even more money? Fuck no, I don't want to play with you guys for even more money. So it's like, okay, when I go on these big streams, I have to be able to hold my own, and that's when the studying is going to come in. But it was definitely a great experience. I mean, I lost a little over 2K. That's a win to me. I ain't gonna lie. That's a win. That's a win to me. Like,
we've seen bigger L's.
Like that. Like, jeez, wow. But tell the people your name and something.
You'll see me on stream name Tish Money.
Tish Money.
And I'm an HV.
HV. And until the next vlog, y'all take care. Peace.